Support for this podcast comes from St. Alphonsus Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Clinics, with physicians, physical therapists, and trainers who treat sports and performance-related injuries, with locations across the valley. More information on services and locations at stalphonsus.org/stayactive.
From Boundary to Bear Lake, Fremont to Payette, Oahe to Oneida, there are interesting people, places, and histories in all of Idaho's counties. And Idaho Matters wants to share it with you with stories from all 44 counties that make up the Gem State. Email your ideas to idahomatters@boisestate.edu or use the Talk to Us feature in our app, available on Apple and Android, and tune in each weekday at noon for Idaho Matters.
From Boise State Public Radio, this is The Connector, Idaho Daily News. Good morning, I'm Jackson Holmes. It's Monday, July 28th. Ahead, Idaho's Government Efficiency Agency had their very first meeting Friday morning. A preliminary injunction was placed that offers some protections for access to HIV medication. Jaialdi is back in Boise after 10 years. You can learn what to expect at the Basque celebration this year. Idaho's new Governmental Efficiency Committee, formed by GOP legislative leadership in April, met for the first time Friday. Julie Luqueta has more.
Co-chair Representative Jeff Ehlers described the three broad areas the committee would focus on,
which is looking at agencies and divisions and departments for reduction, consolidation, or elimination. Second, looking at state employees for efficiencies and other things. And third, looking at state travel.
Ehlers also announced the launch of a website for the public to give input or report government waste. Submissions have the option to be anonymous. Committee member Representative Heather Scott said she wanted to make sure all concerns from the public would get a follow-up.
I don't want that to slip through the cracks because we're focusing on how many employees we're going to get rid of or consolidate or what have you.
Presenter Amy Fetcher shared her experience as the former head of a similar initiative started in Arkansas in 2015. She did not have data on how much money it saved the state.
I would encourage you to put something into it where you can track a savings. That was something that in the first few years we were not successful.
Members also requested more data about state agencies' operations to come up with an action plan for the committee. Julie Luqueta, Boise State Public Radio News.
An injunction was granted in the case of Davids v. Adams, offering protections for participants of the federally funded Ryan White HIV/AIDS program in Idaho. The lawsuit was filed in June, challenging the constitutionality of recent Idaho law that requires recipients of both the Ryan White and AIDS Drug Assistance Program to verify their immigration status. The injunction allows Idaho recipients of the Ryan White HIV/AIDS health services to continue receiving care without immigration verification until the lawsuit is resolved. Wood chopping, wagon pulling, traditional dancing, and lots of food. You can expect all of these at Jaialdi, Idaho's largest Basque celebration. Back after a 10-year hiatus, the 6-day event starts tomorrow in downtown Boise. Jamie Geary has more.
Meaning simply festival in Basque, the first Jaialdi happened in 1987. Usually held every 5 years, it was canceled in 2020 because of the pandemic. For Idaho's Basque community, the largest outside of Europe, the celebration is set to be festive.
The Basque, they like to drink.
That's Nancy Zubiri, author of Jaialdi, a celebration of Basque culture.
They drink red wine with every meal, well, with their dinners, but sometimes lunch and breakfast too, depending on the occasion.
Along with drinks, attendees will be able to enjoy Basque staples like paella, croquetas, and salomo. Zubiri says Basques have a long history of coming together. They arrived in the western U.S. during the 19th century gold rush and established tight-knit communities like Boise's Basque Bloc.
Within these neighborhoods, the language was preserved and the culture was preserved, and they started forming social clubs in order to keep all of that going.
Attendees, expected in the tens of thousands, can also watch athletes compete to toss the heaviest hay bale or lift the biggest stone. Jamie Geary, Boise State Public Radio News.
And that's today's episode of The Connector. I'm Jackson Holmes, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. To stay in touch with the news between now and then, check out boisestatepublicradio.org or download the free Boise State Public Radio app. Thanks for listening.